For me, it sounds like take action. Just
Exactly.
stop stopping, just go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to HackCast. This is season 3, episode number 8, and today we're going to talk about HackSoft's vision, mission and values. But before we get there, as you may see, it's not just me and Ivo, we have one more person joining us today.
Yeah, I'm Kamen. You've seen me in an episode before.
Yeah, in season 2, and Kamen will be present in this episode and also in the next 2 episodes, so we have a change in setup. Ivo?
Yeah, the setup is changed a little. It's almost the same, but now we have Kamen and another pair of microphone, and this time we are laid down differently.
Yeah.
So
On the sides.
Yeah, so I think it would be a little better.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
We'll see. Before we start, because this is going to be an interesting episode, we have to say 2 things. And the first one is we are aiming to get to 8,000 subscribers, as you may have known up until now, because we are constantly reminding everyone. And we're halfway there. We are at around 530 subscribers.
33.
Something like this, yeah. And once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we will pick one of the 1,000 and we will give away this beautiful beast. What is this, Kamen?
This is the DAS Keyboard 6. It's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Can't recommend it enough. It's a mechanical keyboard. This is a newer model. I think it's from this year.
Yeah, it's basically the latest DAS keyboard that we ordered, and we haven't opened it yet. There's a dent on the side, but this is from shipping, so it's actually fine. And this is going to go to one of you if you are one of our 1,000 subscribers.
You'll get this exact copy. Yeah.
This exact copy, yes. Yeah. And the other thing is, since for season 2 we ended with the questions and answers finale, we want to do the same thing for season 3. So please write us a question. The theme for season 3 is business, big business, as they say.
Business.
And you can ask us a business related question, or you can ask us any HackSoft related question. We want to have enough questions for an hour-long season finale for HackCast season 3. Yeah, and that's it, I think. I will now take this and move it to the side.
You said that we are at 530 subscribers?
33.
33, yeah, but this is at the time of filming.
Yeah.
So do you imagine if we get to 1,000 before this gets released?
No.
Not really possible, yeah.
With the current, I think we have quite a healthy rate of growth for subscribers, and people are actually enjoying watching the content that we produce. So I believe we will get, at some point by the end of, when we release the end of season 3, we will be quite close to 1,000 subscribers. Mm-hmm. So this is our goal. And now for episode number 8. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the vision, the mission, and the values of HackSoft. First of all, why is this important? Why are we doing this as a topic?
Well, having a mission helps to align everyone to the same direction. Having values help to keep the course and to not stray too far from the idea of HackSoft. And the vision is, I think it's also something that aligns us in the same direction.
Yeah.
I think it's important to say that we put this mission, vision, and values down like really early in our journey. I remember we were like probably 4 people at the office, and we were figuring them out. I was a little skeptical at the beginning that at this early stage we actually need this, but it definitely helped, first of all, align ourselves to a common ground. And I think it's really important to say that we didn't really change the mission, vision, and values throughout this year.
Yep.
So I guess we nailed them down the first time.
We might have to perhaps adjust some or change the wording.
Change the wording probably. Yeah.
I think there things can be improved, but first of all, it's vision, mission, and values are usually recommended if you go to some kind of MBA and you want to start a business. You need to have a vision, a mission, and values. And this may sound a little vague, and you may be wondering why do you need to define those things. But if you actually give it enough time and give it enough thought, you will end up with something that reflects your thinking, your way of thinking, and you will attract people that are kind of aligned in the same way of thinking as the vision, the mission, and the values. And I think this worked out pretty well for us. The vision is something that's perhaps not achievable. It's supposed to be not achievable. It's supposed to be like a moonshot to define something. What's the ultimate vision? Where do you want to go? At least from our current point of view. Then the mission is something that's more concrete and more tangible. And then the values are basically the things that we are looking for in ourselves and in our colleagues. And combined together, the vision, the mission, and the values, this serves like a framework for decision taking or making. What was the correct word?
Decision making.
Decision making. So decision taking is in
Bulgarian.
Yeah. You take decisions, but in English is make decisions. It helps us make decisions, basically.
Yeah.
And I think we have made quite a lot of decisions based on this framework, based on what we have written down as vision, what we have written down as mission, and what we have written down as values. And also it helped us attract the right talent and maintain the right people in the company, because the folks that stayed for long periods of time and are still with us, I think this is what resonates with them. And Teddy did something really cool with the latest vlog, A Week in the Life of an Eastern European Software Development Company. It's a mouthful title. I think Teddy asked a bunch of the folks working here at HackSoft what are their favorite values and why. And it was quite eye-opening even for me, because you kind of listen and hear the thoughts and reflections of the people working at the company for the values that you want to be at the core of the company.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy that I think every single decision that we take, we are thinking throughout this mission and vision and values. Yeah. Even though we are not just printing them and reading them loud and getting the decision because we have such a vision, it is something that we come up with without just copying it from anywhere, or just our way of thinking. And
it's not just a PR and marketing effort. Write something down because you need to have them.
Absolutely.
But it's rather our way of thinking about the company. And I think this is why it sticks for now, because it was just a PR thing. No one cares.
And I think it's extremely important when you are trying to do a business with more than one person in there.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that we did it in such an early stage in our journey.
Yeah.
And the idea for this particular episode is to basically go one by one. I think all three of us, we have opened our website on the company page, and just go one by one with vision first, then mission, and then values, and just discuss it, just talk about it.
All right. Just one last thing before we start doing that. So you said that we did it pretty early, and I can't recommend it enough, because if you're doing a company all by yourself and you're the sole leader and you're micromanaging everyone and making all the decisions, it's okay to not have mission, vision, and values, but that doesn't scale very well. And if you want to be more than a single person leading this company and have leaders and team leaders inside and people be aligned in the same direction, it's a great idea to do this earlier. Yeah. Because this sets the team in a single direction and fighting for the same goal. Even if someone doesn't agree, doesn't have the same values as us, then perhaps we're not a good fit, because we will not be fighting for the same thing. We'll be pulling in different directions.
You two mentioned the word alignment. I think that's the core thing. It helps you create and have alignments within your company and within the individual teams of the company. So, starting with vision. The very first thing that we have written down is become the solutions company to which businesses come to get things done. I will read them as we have written them. I think at some point we will change some of the wordings, but for now it will be verbatim was the word for it.
The meaning will stay the same. Yeah.
So how do you think about what's the idea behind Become the Solutions Company?
Yeah, let's break it down. So we are the solutions company, meaning that we are a solution company. We are doing software development and working on different solutions for different clients that are our goal. But the key here is to which business come to get their things done. Yeah. So at the beginning, our idea was, and it still is, to ship software without the client needed to be involved in the software development in any way. And that's our idea behind end-to-end software development. We don't really need any specification to build your software. We are just a partner there to help you build whatever you're trying to build. Yeah. And we're not just the outstaffing company that when you have a well-defined work, you're just sending there to be done. We are helping you end-to-end from the beginning of the software to the actual end and the support and the deployment and everything. And that's, I think, the most important here. The most important thing here is that it gets the things done. So this is probably the most important software. The most important part when it comes to writing software and doing software is to actually make it done, to make it work, no matter what it takes in terms of technology or, let's say, everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you don't have a good idea of what the end product should look like, we'll help you brainstorm. If you don't know what technologies to use, we'll help you with to make the best decision. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure for some parts of the system or app, we'll help you to find the right answer for this too.
Yeah, for me, it's avoiding the standard way of working as the software development company is body leasing, outstaffing, team augmentation, whatever. Mm-hmm. We've discussed this at length at some of the earlier episodes of the season. And we don't want to do this. We want to basically solve problems with business in mind, meaning not only the technical part, but also it should make sense for the business and we should bring value for the business. Meaning sometimes we will take decisions that are not the most optimal ones, but they will get the job done at this particular moment for this particular use case for our clients. And I think this is quite important because we are trying to position ourselves as someone who will solve your problems, keeping your business in mind. And usually those problems need some kind of a software solution, and that for me is extremely important because it's way higher up the food chain, and we're not just leasing bodies all over the place, And that's why I really like this vision, and this vision really helps us make the right decisions, not take, all right, and be aligned towards where we want to go.
Yeah, good.
The second one, be a family for everyone working in the company.
So this started out easily when we were 4 people, but it's going to get harder and harder as we grow and as we scale, with more and more people joining in. But I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
What personally keeps me in the company and what is my passion is to help other people improve themselves and become better software engineers. And HackSoft is really focused around people. And I think this is the part of the company as a family. Now the company is bigger. It's hard to say it's a family because we're 33 people and it's a big family. Obviously not everyone is really close with all the other coworkers, but I think this is kind of a core vision. We may change it a little in terms of wording, but the core idea here is that the company is really focused around people. Oftentimes the people are even more important than the clients and the project themselves, so we need to keep the right balance, and this is kind of hard sometimes. But my personal vision and what really keeps me in the company, what really keeps me passionate about my job is actually helping people becoming better at their job. And to me, this is extremely important in our vision.
And this is for sure we're going to reward this, rewrite. Basically for me is being human or people oriented or human or people focused. I think this is the correct way of phrasing this vision, because being a family is right now, it's not very you will get a serious backlash because you say you are a family for everyone working because of all the corporations that are using this just for PR. You know, all the big corporations, they don't care about their people. If they can fire everyone, they will most probably do so. And we've seen this with the latest rounds of layoffs and the way that they conducted those layoffs. So I think saying that you are a family for everyone working in the company is not treated very well right now. When we wrote down this as a vision, we really meant it. But as you said, we were 4 people. And right now, the better phrasing for this would be that we are indeed more people-oriented, meaning we will make and take decisions that are more in line with the people working at the company than with our business goals.
Yeah, I think this sets a trend with the mission and the values as well.
Yeah.
Because we also have values, and also one of our missions is to work as we are working together, not exactly as a family, but we care for our people more than we care for maximizing some kind of revenue.
Yeah. We will not squeeze out revenue at the cost of burning people out and then throwing them away, as is the usual way of doing business in the software industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a very important piece to have early on, because that's how you know that you've gathered the right people that look in the same direction.
Exactly. Which does not mean that people should not be doing their job well or should not be performing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, this is not correlated, but we are not here to squeeze people out and throw them away after this. This is really, really important. And we're going to rephrase it as something else. Thank you, big corporations, for ruining the family values for everyone. Thank you. All right, and those are basically our 2 visions. Those sit at the top. This is where we are aiming at, and this is our, biggest alignment, where we want to go. Now, following the vision, we have 4 mission statements, which are more concrete and more specific to what we do as a company. And the first one is, it's a bit mouthful, so I will try reading it as clear as possible. Provide a holistic approach to software development, from communication to project management, project leadership, and development. We are going to reword this for sure to sound better, but what's the gist of it? What's the general idea of this?
Again, our general idea that we are providing an end-to-end software development, and the software development is not only writing code, it is a lot of things like communication, project management, support, leadership, everything. And actually, writing code is probably a small part of the whole thing. So our initial idea, the mission that we set when we started, is that we want to do everything. We don't really want to focus on one technology and do only this technology and nothing else, or even do some kind of outstaffing with this given technology. We want to solve problems from the start to the end.
Yes. This is basically related to the solutions company. And Kamen, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say that we are not as religious to the code as some people are. Writing code, we care more about the business than writing the prettiest code that we can ever, because we want to solve the problems of the business and not just be able to say that we wrote a beautiful piece of code every time.
Although our code is still beautiful.
It is, yeah, it is. But if you have to choose whether the business should suffer or the code,
of course, yeah.
We kind of stay pragmatic. We because we will go there. She's ship high quality software, one of our other mission statements. But we kind of stay pragmatic, and I think this is somehow we naturally evolved to be pragmatic. I told you I'm going to get the call, but I will close this call now. Sorry, podcast. So we kind of got there naturally, and it's about writing code, but also knowing when to ship something.
Yeah.
Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not finished in a good enough state. So that for me is the first mission statement, and it's basically the end-to-end software development that we talked about at length during this season 3 of HackCast. The second one, I really like this one. Be more than just an outsourcing company. Be a trusted partner for our clients. That's our second mission statement. and perhaps it's my favorite mission statement.
Why is your favorite mission statement?
Because again, it's related to the solutions company. It's related to how we treat our clients and how we want to be treated by our clients. We want to be there, be equal with our clients, and help them get to their goals and solve their business needs with software means and software tools, and basically doing software development. And it's because usually when you are an outsourcing company, you're treated like an outsourcing company, and you're not treated very well. It's like you cannot make decisions, and you're just there to do the work. Mm-hmm. There's some work to be done. Just please do the work. Don't ask questions. Don't make proposals. Nothing. You are an outsourcing company, and we have this as a mission statement because we want to avoid or get away from this treatment, even though most of the clients, they usually start like this because this is the standard way of doing business, and we do our best to prove ourselves and to show them that we can be unequal partners. Sometimes there are clients with really fixed mindset that when they treat us like an outsourcing partner, but those are the clients that do not stick that long. And we talked with Ivo about in the episode when do we stop working with clients about this. Mm-hmm. And Kamen has a really nice saying.
That's also my favorite mission, because that's how I introduce HackSoft. When I talk to someone that doesn't know what HackSoft is, for example, at a conference, I meet a lecturer, and they ask me, so what do you do at HackSoft? And I say, well, it's like outsourcing, but we care. So that's really the main difference.
It's really good. It's very good. Yeah. And that's the second mission statement. So the first and the second, they're kind of related to our first vision, becoming the solutions company, where businesses come to get things done, to get problems solved. The third mission statement is be a great place to work where people are inspired to be the best they can be.
That's my favorite.
Tell us why.
Well, as we already spoke about, we started as a software academy, right? Yeah. And I was really inspired when we were doing programming courses, teaching people how to do software. And this was the moment that really motivated me enough to actually start HackSoft and continue doing this, but in a way different way. So I'm all about people, and I really care and like working with people. These are the people that I spend like 60% of my time throughout the day, and I definitely prefer to be helpful and to count on nice colleagues and help them grow in different ways, of course, not only writing software but everything related to work, and not only work. So I think it's safe to say that this is my favorite mission.
Kamen, do you have a comment here?
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have this as a mission because we grow together since we started HackSoft. Mm-hmm. I think we went from being not exactly fresh out of school, but almost fresh out of school, and we were teaching at the time. So at first I understood it like we are teachers with hands-on experience. So this is like we are able to show you the proper way that software is written, even professionally, and ship it. Mm-hmm. But then it turned out to be we can help people grow while shipping software professionally. So it kind of changed for me this exact mission.
Yeah, and for me this is related to unfolding potential, and we've talked about this as well, because we want to build a company where people can unfold their potential and reach their maximum potential, and that's what we are. That's what we are trying to do internally, working with people, pushing them to become better and to see where their potential really is, and not just stay at the same place. So it's a good place to be because you can grow. And since we are doing end-to-end software development and we're taking care of quite a lot of things for our clients, there is always an opportunity to grow somewhere and to learn new things. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it's a good thing to have this as a mission statement. And this is my interpretation of this particular mission statement. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have a place where people can reach their maximum potential. That's it.
Yeah, it's really motivating to see some of our folks that are here for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And when you see how much they grow throughout these years, which is extremely uncommon for our industry, but when you see their growth in like the 7 years, let's say, that they're here, to me, it's extremely motivating.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got most of our people initially from the courses, right? So they were prepared for a junior position, and right now they are so advanced that they can take care of any problem you put in front of them.
They're senior technical team leads.
Yeah.
And they do a very good job. So for sure the growth is there. And there's more growth to be had. And the last of so we have 2 vision statements, 4 mission statements, and I remember trying to go with 8 values, so we can have 2, 4, 8, but we have 9 values. So
Turned out 9, yeah.
it is what it is. So our last mission statement is ship high quality software, which is quite straightforward, but still very important. Because I think we learned the hard way that if you don't care about the quality of your work, it will always backfire. Something will happen, something will break, and we'll end up in a really bad situation. So we learned the hard way that we must always keep high quality standards and make sure that we are not... How would you translate this in English? In Bulgarian, we have this saying, да си оставиш ръцете.
Wow, that's a hard one.
Yeah, so for me, ship high quality software, this mission statement is the thing that tries to prevent everyone from leaving their hands in and just doing a really bad job and not caring about quality. Because after all, quality pays back and it produces more stable software. And if you have more stable software, you can move faster.
I think there's not a literal translation of this, but I can tell you what the opposite is.
What the opposite is?
The opposite is to build software that you're proud of.
Yes.
So if you put everything that you have in that software, that's the opposite of the Bulgarian saying.
Teddy will find the translation and put it in the editing of the Si ostaviš rъцете. Thank you, Teddy, in advance.
Yeah, I started doing software in the early days of PHP, and when I meet you guys, like writing poor quality software was kind of normal in terms of writing quick websites and things that they don't really need to scale well. And we initially met. I was really impressed that both of you are aiming to do something different, and I think that's why we kind of put it in our mission. Because I think we all started with the early days of PHP, and we definitely know what the difference between really crappy code and just good solution is. And the three of us we just like writing good quality software.
And we are not throwing shade at PHP.
Yeah, just a side note here, PHP is...
Early days of PHP.
PHP is evolving,
of course,
growing.
Of course.
Rio escapes ring.
This time for Rio, MySQL expect.
There were some bad decisions in the past.
Of course, as in every language.
As in every language, yeah. As in every language.
If you look at JavaScript from the early days of JavaScript, it's just horrible in so many ways.
Yeah. It was just in these early days, everyone is just doing some quick websites and quick things that were not meant to scale in any way. And writing bad quality code, it was kind of the norm. Just because you need to ship it really fast and then jump to the next one.
Yeah. Keep in mind that also we were pretty young back then.
Of course.
We didn't have the discipline to keep up good coding standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one. You need some form of discipline to keep your work quality high. And to finish with this, I think the Django style guide was born because of this mission statement, ship high quality software, because we were looking for something that will produce better results for Django apps at scale. And this is how the style guide was born. All right, so those are our 4 mission statements. And we now get to values.
Let's go.
We have 9 values, and they're basically what we are looking in ourselves and in the folks that are working at the company. It's again a framework for things to expect at HackSoft. And the first value is freedom and responsibility.
Yep, that's very important.
Should I read the small text next to it?
Yeah, why not?
No.
Yeah, so freedom and responsibility. This is not a typical software development company. We have more freedoms, but they need to be matched with a certain amount of responsibility. And I know there is a memeing potential right now.
Yeah, there's a line from Spider-Man that gets here.
There's a bald eagle flying somewhere nearby, but we will not get there right now.
Yeah.
How do you interpret this?
With great freedom comes great responsibility.
Which is true.
It is. So basically, the way I understand this is we give people freedom to feel safe at their job, to feel motivated to suggest ideas that might not work always. We create a safe space, and we also give them freedom to
Basically, nobody cares about your how you what you do in your work during your working hours.
yeah. So we give them freedom to manage their own time,
Basically,
as
yeah.
long as they get their responsibilities straight.
And this is why it's in wanting freedom and responsibility. You need to match the freedom with this responsibility, because
Yes.
if you just take the freedom and you're not matching it with responsibility, then you will not have good outcomes and we will most probably part ways. But that's why we have quite a lot of things internally in the company, like day offs and day ons and stuff like this, because we really don't want to deal with all the bureaucracy. Oh, you're sick, you have to go to your personal doctor,
Yeah.
and get your
Get a
documents
note,
that you were sick, and then hand it over to Miglena, which is our accountant, and stuff like this.
Essentially, we trust that people are responsible and that they will not try to lie in any way for these things, and we give them the freedom to get days off because they're sick or because they're not feeling well or because they need a rest. But that has to be matched with the responsibility that your team depends on you to be there.
Exactly. And usually this value becomes valuable to you when you are in a more senior position or when you have spent several years at the company and you have growth a little bit. Yeah. Because if you're intern or junior, you need someone to micromanage you in a good way and to lead you along the way and to give you well-defined tasks so you can have the opportunity to grow and have some directed learning to do instead of just wandering around thinking about what's next and what should I start working on next. But the more senior you get, the more this value becomes valuable for you. This is at least my opinion.
If you think about it, it also works for juniors, because when you're a junior, you don't have as much responsibilities as you have when you're a senior or a team lead.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a nice way to say we are the opposite of a corporation.
We try to be.
Because normally in the corporations, you don't have a lot of freedom, but you don't have a lot of responsibilities either. Because if something goes wrong, it's probably your manager's fault or his manager or something like that. Here, you have way more freedom, but with this freedom, of course, there are responsibilities that need to be taken.
And so, I think this is for another episode, and it's also a good value to take. No, we'll talk about this later. The next value is growth mindset. Strive to be better in the things you do. And this is with the mission statement about that be a great place where people are inspired to be the best they can be. And it's about unfolding potential. It's about reaching your actual potential. This is the value for me. Meaning you don't know where you're going to get, but you need to do the things to get there. You need to see what you're capable of, and you need to see where your potential is. And that's the growth mindset for me. Being open-minded, learning new things, learning new skills, seeing things from a different perspective, stuff like this.
Yeah, and when you learn to do this at work, you're basically starting to doing it everywhere, not only in work, and this really helps you to develop as a person, as a human being, which is to me extremely important, because when you are, let's say, doing web development, it's pretty easy to say, oh, I have done this like a million times, it's an easy job, but there is always a way to do it better. There is always a new library or something new that you can improve, or improve the process, or improve your editor, something that can improve your workflow. And
Yeah.
when you are starving for these new things to be learned and to be practiced, you're starting to apply this in your life, not only in work.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, and especially in software development, where new libraries, languages, and
Versions.
and software gets created every day. So you
Yeah.
have to keep up with it, and it's not healthy for you to just lay back and say, "I've done this a million times. I don't need to."
Yeah, exactly. Especially right now with all the LLMs and things like Copilot.
Yeah.
I think we've started adopting it quite seriously right now at the company, and it pays off. You know, it can make you a better software engineer. So why not use those tools?
Yeah.
And to balance the growth mindset, because you can go in like I will constantly learn new things and never actually finish something.
Yeah.
We have another value that's called get shit done, the get shit done attitude. And it's sometimes you just need to do the work, take action, make a call, move forward. You know, I really like those two values because they balance themselves. Sometimes you need to basically get some work done and get it done in a timely manner. And if we don't have this value, we will actually not be able to ship enough things for our clients, so they will not see the value that we provide for them. Even if the value that we provide for them is more in a strategical thinking and long-term planning, if we don't ship anything for 6 months, how can you justify that they will it will get better, it will get better with time, you know? So that's why you need to be able to ship things.
And it doesn't really apply only for software development. Again, it is working on a company, growing the company, doing marketing things, everything sometimes needs just to be done. Even if you don't ship it the perfect possible way, it's really important to just get it done.
Yep. For me, it also means that for every piece of work that you do, it doesn't matter if you're writing software or if you're solving a math problem, there's a place in that problem that you just have to get your hands dirty and just do the job right now. Stop planning, stop thinking you've planned enough. You have the thing already, just do it.
Yeah. It helps prevent overthinking, you know. Sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah,
just go and do it. Start doing the motions.
For me, it sounds like take action. Just
exactly.
Stop stopping, just go.
Next one, long-term thinking. Next value. We are playing the long game. Some things won't happen fast. Some things will yield their value over time. And again, this comes as a balancing act to get shit done attitude. It's like the values kind of there. We kind of created them so they can balance each other and get the best of both or of all.
Yeah, at first I didn't really understand this when we talked about it initially, because I didn't really have the mindset of looking things from above and seeing the whole picture. But it made a lot of sense once we started growing the company, because I saw that some things actually yield value over time. I hadn't seen that before. I've only worked in the beginning of the PHP days. I only built websites, and when we started the company, I had that mindset that you just work, and whatever you get done just yields results right here, right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and we learned that as we grew because we created things that were valuable to us, not making money sometimes, but these things yielded results in the long run.
Exactly. Yeah. Plenty of examples. Sometimes we kind of didn't take on projects that were like straight up making us money because we wanted to focus on something else that we thought it was way more important.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you hire juniors and interns. You have to apply some long-term thinking there because you cannot get value out of them in the first 6 months.
Absolutely.
Although we do a pretty good job at actually making those folks ship software in the first 6 months, and they really like it. And it's the same thing with basically our entire marketing efforts and things that we do around branding. It's like, what's the ROI of your YouTube account? You have 500 subscribers. Where are the money? You know, this is not the idea right now. And it starts paying off. whenever you talk with a new customer or a new client and they say, oh, I listened to your HackCast episodes 3 or 4 or something like this, and I have this and this question, then it starts paying off. And this is basically the long game and the long-term thinking. And sometimes it's really hard because you want to get results straight away, and sometimes it's really hard when the markets are not in a good condition. But,
And sometimes you don't expect things to yield such value. For example, the Django style guide. When we did the Django style guide, this was for internal use. We just wrote down the tribal knowledge that we have inside, and it turns out a lot of people find it useful, which is just amazing for me.
Doing talks, teaching courses,
Absolutely.
all of this.
Going to conferences.
Going to conferences. Being a good human being, and we have a value for this, is also a long game. Because if you are an SO, you will get results more quickly. But
yeah, I think it's important to say that the companies with really, really long vision, I really hope that in the next, let's say 20 years, we will still be the same people working probably in a different place, but having the same company as it is at the moment, probably slightly bigger, but the mission and the values and the core are going to be the same. Yes. So all decisions that we take are definitely long term, and we're not taking short term decisions that are going to be nice in the short term, but if you look at the long term game, they're not going to be probably the best. And we're trying to, when taking decisions, I think this is probably the most important value to think of. For sure, and there is a correlation with the theory of infinite games, something that Simon Sinek talks a lot about. And for sure, there is something from this in the long-term thinking value that we have. Next, leadership. Okay, so this value is just called leadership, and the text is, leading proactively is the way to become better and to lift up everyone around you. And for me, whenever you start tapping into this value and whenever you start showing some kind of leadership on your behalf, this is the moment where you unlock and start really understanding the freedom and responsibility value. Those two values are quite connected. And we value leadership quite a lot because we love proactive people and we love things happening naturally. By someone just being proactive and taking action instead of just waiting to be pushed and just waiting to be activated to do something. Because then you can scale and then you can, again, unfold potential and see the real potential of people. If you are just waiting and sitting, you will not reach your maximum potential, for sure.
I feel like we can rename this to just be proactive. Because it's
basically the same.
It's basically the same.
Something that scales a lot. If you're proactive at any job, at any company, people will notice and you will get back some pretty positive gains. Whenever you try to help someone do their job, you also learn how to do that even better than you knew before. Whenever you take some responsibility, you basically grow as a person. So this helps a lot.
And being proactive allows you to grow with your own rhythm. And if you're not proactive, you basically grow with the rhythm of your mentor, your buddy, your leader. Yeah. And sometimes the leader is not entirely focused on growing you, so it basically slows your growing down. Yes. So being proactive is awesome, especially in a world where all the information is like on a couple of Googles away. And
prompts.
Okay.
Or Googles.
And you can easily learn new things and be proactive at your job.
Yeah.
All right. 4 more to go. What's the time, Teddy?
More than 45 minutes.
More than, wow, we are going for an hour. All right, we have 4 more values to talk about. We will put timestamps and you will be able to jump to different values. The next one is called mutual respect. Don't be an SO, respect your peers.
I think this got rewarded from the start. I think this was initially don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this word helps our SEO, but
it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, so basically there are people that really like to be assholes and not respect their peers and just treat them in all kinds of bad ways. And this is why we put this as a value. because it's important to have this mutual respect, because when you have this mutual respect, you will be in a safer environment where you can actually grow and unfold your potential. If you're constantly thinking about corporate politics, which we try to avoid as much as possible, you will not be focused on shipping software or growing or taking proactive steps or things like this. So for me, it's about staying away from a corporation where being an asshole is rewarded, and actually having a workplace where people are being respectful towards each other. Of course, people can disagree with each other, but being respectful is really important.
And again, you're spending like 60% of your life at work, so working with assholes is probably not a great experience.
Or being an asshole.
Yeah. Well, probably being an asshole is better than working with assholes, but
I'm not sure about that either.
but yeah, that's something that inspired me. That basically Rado inspired me at the beginning. When I started working with him, I was like, oh, I would like to behave nicely, just like Rado is doing with everyone. It definitely grabbed me. Because back in the days we had some meetings with people that are not pleasant, I guess. Yeah, and Rado was still acting cool with them. So and I was like, I will better shut up and just let the meeting go. Yeah, I was really inspired by this, and I think that's why it's here. It's really important to behave nicely with everyone.
Over the years, we've met with some representatives of the Balkan way of doing business, where you have the big guy in the room who's calling the shots and who's screaming at everyone and who throws money at you.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
Fun stories. It's for another season. All right. Balance is the next value.
Yes.
Which is manage your health and stress. Know when to push and know when to rest. That's the balance.
I think this is kind of opposite to the leadership one, because leadership is all about proactivity. But if you try to lift more than you can carry, you go into burnout.
Yeah.
So you should balance this and manage your health along with being proactive as a leader.
Yes. You can be proactive and you can get a lot of things done and you can burn yourself out and then be sick every other week.
Yes.
And this will reflect in the output and in the work that you're doing, and it's just not a good idea to go to the extreme, to constantly go to the extremes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It doesn't help your team in the long run. Yeah. It may help your team or your client in the short term to just do an all-nighter 2 or 3 days in a row, but then your health will decline and you'll be out the next 5 days. So it doesn't help your team or your client overall.
And you know that you don't have to plan as good, and you don't have to have a really good work ethic and discipline, because you will just clutch it.
Yes.
Which is a bad thing to learn, like a behavior, because you will clutch it as long as you are under 25, and after you go above 25 years old, we have an internal joke about 25 years old. It will become harder to clutch and to pull all-nighters and to just reactively fix things when things are on fire. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good skill to have, and I think in order to get to the balance, you need to go to the extremes a couple of times.
You need to have been there, yeah.
You need to know how the extremes feel, and you need to know why they are not doing a good job, so you can find the balance. I think it's a certain rite of passage in order to find this kind of balance.
I was about to say that I learned this the hard way, balancing your stress.
I think everyone did.
Yeah.
And this definitely plays well with the long-term thinking.
Yes.
I'm hoping to work with the same folks like 20 years from now. So managing your health and stress is really important for everyone in the company. And I personally am trying to speak and work with the folks to ensure that everyone is feeling personally happy and balanced.
Work ethic is important.
Yeah.
Having a good 9-to-5 rhythm, although it's a meme, it's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you will get a lot of things done and you don't have to constantly clutch. So for me, this is quite underrated. And that's why we have it as a value.
Yeah.
Last two values. The first one of the last two over communication might be daunting. Oh wow, we have used complex words. Might be daunting, but has a great positive long-term effect. Over communication. Why it might be daunting?
I think every software developer ever struggled with under communication.
Yeah.
And the best way to overcome this habit is to start over communicating when it comes to work.
Yes.
And it's way easier to work with people that are over communicating instead of people that are under communicating. So since communication in software development is a key thing, it's really important. It's basically almost impossible to do software development without the proper amount of communication.
Yes.
And that's why it's a value. We really value communication and even over communication.
Yes.
It is possible to write software with minimal communication, but it's tedious. It gets tedious pretty fast.
If you're the only software developer, probably yes.
Yeah, well, if you don't really care about your team and you're working on your piece of software and maintaining that, you can do that, but it gets tedious pretty fast. And I think you start to realize the value of this value as you get into a managerial position, because then you just want to know, is everybody doing okay? Is everybody doing their task in a way that is the best way currently? Did they understand the task correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Can you help them in any way? So if everybody is communicating all the time, it's really easy to get. But if nobody's communicating, you just have to go and ping them and ask them, is everything okay? Are you fine? Are you good? Do you understand the task? And so on and so forth. And it's underrated if you are not a manager, because if your manager doesn't communicate proactively with you, you don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You're just in your own task, in your own context, and you don't know what's going on outside of that. But if your manager is communicating proactively, then you're also aware what goes on with the team, with the project, with the company, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also quite pragmatic. Writing what's your current agenda for the day or for the week, summarizing after a meeting to make sure everyone is on the same page, because not always after a call everyone is on the same page. So having it written down is really important. Saying, hey, I am actually starting to work on this, or hey, I'm going to grab a lunch, or hey, I will be out for 2 hours because this of this. Mm-hmm. All of this is extremely important because it gets you in a communication rhythm and other people will follow. And then you will end up in a team where everyone is over communicating and everyone feels good about it, because you're not left out, as Kamen said. You're not like starved out of information, not on purpose, but because nobody's communicating. And I think this is one of the hardest things to learn for software engineers because of the nature of the work. But it pays off a lot. And we have internal processes and internal playbooks around this. And they do really help us build better software and work better with our clients.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So our communication is a great value.
And again, it's not only when you are doing software development, it's basically everything in the company. When you want to speak with your team lead about something, many people are, he's too busy, I'm not going to waste his time. No, that's not the case. Communication is really important. So if something bothers you, or if you want to speak with someone about something, just do it.
Yeah.
Also, clients end up loving it.
Yeah.
It was very surprising for me, but clients like when you update them about the current status as many times as you can, mm-hmm. Because that way they know what's going on in every single time, in every single minute or hour or day, and even if you don't have the update that they need right now, it's better to write to them and say, hey, I'm still waiting, than to just leave them hanging. Mm-hmm. Just people love that you're thinking about them, that you know that they're waiting for you, and that you update them constantly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It also helps you structure your thoughts. And for the clients, we're not doing this so we can give the clients an opportunity to micromanage us.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
have quite a strong pushback against this, but rather to just have an idea what's going on and what to expect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's important to frame it like this, because sometimes people are, I don't want to write this kind of report to the client, because the client will start asking questions and micromanaging me, which is not the thing, but rather give them insights of where things are.
That was exactly my way of thinking in the beginning, but yeah, it turns out that it was wrong.
And the last one. We're almost in an hour.
Yes.
Yes. Walk the extra mile. This is the last value that we added. Always do one more thing and watch the effects accumulate. And I think this is in a combination with the leadership and the get shit done attitude, and basically being proactive in such a way that you can do one more thing or add some more value or walk the extra mile, as they say, because those extra miles, they really do accumulate, and they really do yield results over time. And it should be, again, balanced by the balanced value.
Yeah.
Not to overdo it, because if you walk too many extra miles, then you will just be exhausted and you will need a lot more time to recharge and recover. But I think this is the other one of my favorite values, because I myself, I try to be quite proactive, and I really like this thing because proactivity helps us move forward.
Yeah.
In business context, in software development context, in personal development context, in everything.
Yeah.
To me, it really plays well with the growth mindset.
Also, yeah.
Because it's not only about doing an extra mile, doing one more thing, like getting one more task or shipping one more feature or something like that. Normally we have a schedule, so we don't really need to do one more thing, but figuring out the way to improve the thing that you've done, is it's done, but it can be improved. So let's try to figure out a way to improve it. Yes. And do one more thing to improve it. So next time you have a better foundation, and next time you have even better foundation, and this will stuck over time, and you will end up being, a lot better at your job.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Marginal changes over a long period of time yield a lot of value.
Oh, yeah. And that's it. 9 values. We talked about the vision. We talked about the mission. We talked about our values. And this is the framework of the company. And this is what we try to align, well, basically on a company level and on a team level and on an individual level. It's going to be interesting, I suppose, in a couple of years if we revisit this topic and compare it with this particular episode, I think. And we'll most probably do it. This is the 3rd or the 4th episode that I promised.
We have a lot of episodes promised, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Daddy.
We can do a reaction video.
Do you promise this?
No.
We're going to do a reaction video for something. We'll figure it out. And thank you, everyone, actually, for sticking with us. This was an important episode because we wanted to discuss our vision, mission, and values. I hope it was valuable for you. And if you are running a company and you don't have those things, we can highly recommend to sit down and write them down and think about them and iterate on top of them over time. And it will certainly pay off. Who wants to say about the subscribers?
Me. So
Go.
Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and write a comment. The comment can be a question that we are going to answer in the final episode of this season.
Yes. And 1,000 subscribers is our goal. We will give this beautiful keyboard to one of those 1,000 subscribers, and Kamen guarantees for this keyboard.
Yep, it's great. I've used it. It's awesome.
Like, subscribe, bye.
Bye-bye.